This is a Big Facts Network exclusive.
Why you didn't ask Donald Trump for our reparations, Queen?
Why y'all ain't asked Joe Biden and Kamala for reparations?
Some of us can be a lot closed-minded. We're diehard Democrats. We won't associate with the Republican Party.
But we need to understand that while we are fighting to reunite families at the border, we need to reunite the families in the border, our own families.
What's your thoughts for both Planned Parenthood and mothers across the U.S.?
I want every Planned Parenthood across the nation closed down.
How can we fix that area where, they're going to have these babies like without men with them?
Supporting black women is create organizations like the one I created, Auntie Angie's house, right?
But if a woman really just doesn't feel like she's ready to have a child?
Close your legs, suck dick, swallow, jack.
I know you're literally fighting a very, very hard battle because
it's more than abortion. Like during the DNC, they took a whole Hot Wheels abortion bus to Chicago and was performing live abortions on site.
How do you think she would have turned out as a president if she would have got into the office instead of Trump?
Man, I think we would have lost a whole generation.
Everyone's talking about my new talk show, Live with Carisha. We shoot live on Thursdays in Atlanta. It's amazing. What are you waiting for? Tap in.
So welcome to the Live with Carisha show, Queen. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, because we're going to get into the nitty-gritty, what would you say is the number one threat to the black community?
Politics.
Oh, okay. Dive in, explain.
I mean, because we need to be people over party. I think a lot of us are divided because we want to choose a party and we become party over people. It's time for us to break away from Republican side, Democrat side altogether. We need to be independent in our thinking, and we need to vote for and put people in position that have receipts and have shown us that they're willing to invest in our community. So we all need to be people over party.
I like that. So you're not agreeing with the Democrat, Republican Party, neither one of them?
I've done it all. I grew up Democrat, then
Right.
I became a Republican, and then I went with RFK, and I'm independent, and I love being independent because it allows me to critique both sides. It allows me to see the good and the bad in both sides, and it also allows me to stay grounded, to realize that I'm in this because of the people, not because of a party.
I like that. Very well said. I can definitely agree with you on that one. Now, before we go further, in your earlier days, it was your godmom who encouraged you to go talk to Donald Trump. Now, many people in our community were very some of us can be a lot closed-minded. We're diehard Democrats. We won't associate with the Republican Party. We probably wouldn't even go meet Donald Trump if we were told to go meet him. So how do you think your life would have changed if you never went to go take your godmom's advice and go meet with him?
Well, for one, I got my total freedom through that, because one of the reasons that we are bound as a people is because we're caught up in this criminal justice system. So it's like, you could go to prison and serve your time, something you did when you was 19, and turn around and you 40 years old and it's still impacting you. So if we ever truly want to be free as a people, we need to make sure that our name is out of their system, and we need to make sure that we're financially literate. So I think my life changed in a lot of ways, because whether people liked it or not, it did give me a platform, and it did show me in another light. I mean, I am somebody from the hood. I went from the prison all the way to the palace. I mean, I grew up right in Summerhill, 306 Ormond Street. So the story in itself is amazing. And when you get a call to go sit down and have a conversation with the president, that's not something that you turn down, regardless if it's Trump or Biden or whoever. I just used my story to make a difference, and he did not only give me a full and unconditional pardon, but he changed the law. He made it illegal for them to chain women to the bed during childbirth, and I think that's something that benefits us all.
I totally agree. Yes. Make some noise. Well said. For those of y'all who don't know, she is also the founder of the American King Foundation, and she's a criminal justice advocate. So my question to you is, what policy changes do you believe are most urgently needed at the federal level to improve reentry and reduce mass incarceration?
Not just the federal level, but the state level as well. Like if I've been to prison and I've served my time and I'm free, and all of my fines are paid, and I've paid my debt to society, then why am I still being labeled as a convicted felon? Let me be free. Because what happens is when they walk around with these labels, then they put you in bars, in handcuffs that just can't be seen by the physical eye. It still holds you back. So number one on the list for me is once a person has completed their sentence and is done, they're done. Like, I should not still have to be labeled a convicted felon 20 years after I've paid my debt to society.
I agree. Clock it. What advice, well, in your own words, why do you feel like the incarceration rates are so high amongst black men?
We know why. I mean, it's because of the 94 crime bill that was written and passed by Joe Biden, mass incarceration. And then we also know that stereotypes are real and racism is real. Like, usually when you think about black people, you think, unfortunately, and I don't like to say this because I keep us uplifted all the time, but a lot of people, their mindset is when you see black, you think the lowest of the lowest, or sometimes when you see white, that white is supposed to be right, and that's not always the case. So definitely stereotypes and bills that have impacted us because of the color of our skin.
So the 95 crime bill was never reversed?
94 crime bill. It was reversed. It was reversed by President Trump with the passing of the First Step Act, and a lot of people don't know that, and the media does not tell that. But we need to understand that while we are fighting to reunite families at the border, we need to reunite the families in the border, our own families.
Why do you feel like people aren't really marketing the good things that Trump has done? Because I didn't even know he reversed that crime bill.
Because it's a political game, because they have to keep us controlled by our emotions. Because if I can control your emotion, then I can control your vote. If I can tell you that Donald Trump is a racist, and you believe that, then I can get you to vote for me regardless of what legislation I'm passing or pushing through, whether it benefits you or not. Because, like I said, they're voting for the person and not necessarily the party.
Well said. I want to change gears a little bit and talk about your time working under Robert F. Kennedy. Talk about your day-to-day duties with him as his advisor, right?
Yeah, not only advising him on certain issues, but helping to schedule some of his visits, doing some of his PR, helping to write some of his policies. More Choices, More Life was a policy that I was heavily involved in. Also making sure that not only he was educated, but that he went and got the information and educated me on what's happening with the maternal health crisis, making sure that that's something that they take up at the HHS. So for me, my life has been nothing short of amazing, to be able to have access to not only the King family, but the Trump family and the Kennedy family, regardless of how people feel about them. Those are three legacies, and all the work that I've done with each one of those people has been to better our community.
And do you still work for Robert F. Kennedy today?
I work directly with Robert F. Kennedy. Robert F. Kennedy has become kind of like my dad. I'm one of those kids he's just took up under his wing, and we developed a very personal relationship because he's worked most of his career, if you look up Robert F. Kennedy and who he is, has been spent on exposing medical apartheid and what they have done to our community, you know, through medical practices. So this is something that's very dear to his heart. And I was somebody that ran his black engagement. He know how serious I am about the community, and I just love who he is. I love his family. I'm connected to his family, to the Trump family, to the King family. To know me is to love me, and regardless of what people say in the media, they are interested and invested in helping our communities get better.
And speaking of, very well said, speaking of the media, I watched a past interview that you did with Roland Martin where you guys were debating a commercial ad during the Trump campaign. So my question to you is, I feel like you guys got into a debate about the ad that you guys were talking about, but in your words, what is a good network or reputable source for media news that you know is giving 100% facts?
I wish I could give them one. I mean, you got to get online now and do your own research. Like, you really can't believe. And I wouldn't advise you to believe anything that anybody says. Now, I'm a real one. I'll tell you the truth. But guess what? You still need to go research for yourself, because what happens is a lot of times media personalities or even the news, they're going to take a clip of something and then give you their narrative based off of that clip versus you going and watching the whole entire thing yourself to see what was said before, what was said after. So the best source of news is your own personal research. We're just in a day and age where people can say and do anything and put anything on social media without it even fact checking, so you guys have to do your own research.
I love it. Let's dive into the babies and Planned Parenthood, something you're very, very big on. First, what are your personal hopes for the Planned Parenthood and mothers across the U.S.?
What's a Planned Parenthood mother?
Well, not a Planned Parenthood mother. Like, what's your thoughts for both Planned Parenthood and mothers across the U.S.?
Well, I mean, a lot of people, if you know who Angela Stanton is, this is not going to shock you. But if you don't know who Angela Stanton-King is, I want every Planned Parenthood across the nation closed down. Because when you think about their strategic placement, 80% of their clinics are in our communities. And I ask people all the time, if abortion is such a good thing for the black community, then why they don't have any abortion clinics at the border? Why they don't have any abortion clinics in white, wealthy communities, right? It's population control. And it goes beyond just abortion. It's what they're doing with the remains of the babies afterwards. Like, it's a sick, twisted thing. It was legalized. It was a way to keep our numbers down. Since abortion was legalized in 1973, we've remained at 13% of the population. We have not grown. And we can never be the majority if we are the minority. And it's just a message that I'm never going to stop preaching, because like most of us my age, we were raised with abortion being legal. So a lot of us don't see nothing wrong with it because it's just been legal. It's been a part of life. But at one point, slavery was legal too. So when you begin to break down Planned Parenthood, the founder, who Margaret Sanger was, what their intention was to basically eradicate the black community. They wanted to get rid of us.
Right.
And that's why we don't see the KKK no more, right? They don't have to show up to our door in hoods anymore because they've convinced us to terminate life before it even begins.
I got some facts. I got some research I pulled up, and I want to get your thoughts on this. According to the NCRC, the black wealth gap in the U.S. is substantial and persistent. In terms of average wealth in 2022, the average wealth for white households was $1.5 million compared to $352,000 million for black households. 40% of black mothers were single compared to only 14% of white mothers. So would it be safe to explore that abortions are not the main issue and that fathers and black men in the household would aid with both the income gap and, the black community rising up?
I mean, I'm going to put the blame on all things. We need to touch every issue if we really want to be about, that saying Black Lives Matter. We could torch it over to the black men and we can blame them. But at the end of the day, you can't get black life without a black man, right? I've said this before. Take Kimora Lee Simmons as example. Kimora Lee Simmons got 4 kids, right? I think one of them white, one of them Mexican, I don't know. One of them might be Italian, one of them might be black. You can't get black life. As a black woman, yeah, we black, but you came from a black man, right? Black life comes from a black man, so we can't throw the black man away, abort the black baby, transition our sons, and then think that we saving black life. That ain't how that works.
Right, and I'm not here to argue with you. I am definitely in support of everything you're saying, and I feel like we can't just rely on Angela to fight the good fight for all of us. If you're going to be on the forefront for babies and the black community and keeping our children, then we need another Angela on the forefront for the incarceration. We need another Angela on the forefront for black men being at home. But I'm just trying to understand where you're going with the situation about abortions, when I feel like that's like a bigger problem, though, because abortions is a big deal, but we really need black men at home with these wives.
Well, you can't get black men if you're going to abort them. He got to be born first, and then after he born, he got to remain a black man. You can't transition him. You can't chemically castrate them, right? We have a job to do. We birth black men, right? So if we want black men back in the home, if we have to begin to respect. If we want to restore the value of black life, it begins in the womb. We all have to do our part. Like, this ain't a part where we can toss the ball. Like, we gotta come together and make this shit happen. And we all need each other. We need the mama, we need the daddy, and we need the babies. Because guess what? We ain't gonna live forever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 20, 30 years from now, I may not be able to sit on this stage, but guess what? I brought 5 lives into this world to carry the torch. We have a responsibility to reproduce, to protect, to maintain, to preserve Black life.
I love it. 100% love it. I love it. I love it. So before we leave off that subject, now with the amount of mothers who are raising children, how can we fix that area where, you know, they're going to have these babies like without men with them?
Well, you know, that's why, and listen, a lot of people tell you, they'll say, oh, well, you don't need to bring the baby into the world if you a single mama, or if the daddy ain't gonna be there, but you could have the baby and be married and the daddy get in a car wreck and die the same day, right? Or you could be with the daddy and he could die the next day, right? We have a responsibility as women to love and protect our children. And I've been that single mom. I mean, getting out of prison with nothing, having to scrape 2 nickels together, 5 children to raise. Nothing has been more rewarding than raising those children and giving them life. So what we have to do when it comes to supporting Black women is create organizations like the one I created, Auntie Angie's House, right? And I want an Auntie Angie's House everywhere there's a Planned Parenthood, because the question is, in our community, are you really giving them a choice if Planned Parenthood is the only place that they have to go? What if she want to keep the baby? Why can't we have a center across the street where she can go there and we can help her until she get on her feet? Because I've saved, to this day, 94 babies just through my advocacy. This is just giving these women support. And they weren't bums, like they just needed help for a little bit. Sometimes you 9 months pregnant, maybe you can't work. Right. Maybe the baby daddy did leave. Well, that's what it means when it takes a village, right? Our first option shouldn't be to execute our children. We're the aunties, we're the cousins, we're the uncles. Like, when are we gonna bring this thing back together and understand that if we want to restore Black life, save Black life, preserve Black life, it's on us. Like, politics, I use that as a tool, but politics has never helped me in anything that I've really done successfully for my community. Like, we don't need politics to fix our community. We can do it ourselves.
At 29 Sky Entertainment, they are introducing fresh talent and creativity to the world. They offer innovative services in marketing, artist development, management, and more. So make sure you follow 29 Sky Entertainment on all social media platforms. They also offer security and truck and Ubering services. That's right, they have all of the resources to help you with your music and deliver your heavy loads all around the world. Don't stress no more as an artist. Find a label that can get behind you and help you get the work done today.
So, well said. Auntie Angie's, how many locations are there?
Right now we have 2 locations, and we're working on our 3rd in Dallas, Texas.
And congratulations. What can we do to help and support and get more locations in all inner cities?
Well, if we're going to be honest, I mean, funding. Of course, this stuff, it takes money, and because what I do is so controversial, I don't get funding from the government, because you can't come to Auntie Angie's house talking about you a woman, but you really a man, and you pregnant and you ain't pregnant. Some shit I just not going for. You know what I'm saying? But I'm here for the women in our community that need the help that they need. So I need the community to help us. Like, imagine if 1 million of us got together and just donated $5 a month. Do you know how many babies and how many lives that we could save? We have the power in our community to make things better. And when we do that is when we stop fighting over politics.
Right. Well,
right?
Sir.
I'm not your enemy, baby, because Auntie wants you to keep the baby. Okay? I'm not your enemy because I want to make sure that you financially stable so you'll be able to raise that baby and give that baby the life that they deserve. A Black woman telling you keep the baby is not your enemy. Like, they going around talking about I'm anti-abortion. Okay, so you anti-life? What are we doing?
See, I agree with you. I do. But what if a woman really just doesn't feel like she's ready to have a child?
Close your legs, suck dick, swallow, jack. You can do all of that. Like, you got options.
my God.
Get on birth control. The choice is to be made before the baby, because see, once that life is created, there's only one way to end it. It don't matter if you 2 days pregnant or 9 months pregnant. Once that life has been created, there's only one way to end it. And we can sit up here and debate all day or whether or not it's a baby, it's a fetus. If it wasn't alive, you wouldn't need an abortion to kill it. Dead things do not grow, okay? And any woman in here that has had it, like, we all got here the same way. Our mama had to get pregnant, right? It's lifespan development. You go from being an embryo to a fetus, to an infant, to whatever you want, a baby, a toddler, an adolescent, an adult. It is lifespan development, just like a tadpole. He's a tadpole before he becomes a frog, but he's still alive, right? So if we want them to value our lives, then we have to value the lives that we create, because we're the creators of Black life.
I love it. I want to change gears a little bit. So what advice would you offer to a parent experiencing a child who wants to transition?
Oh,
Talk about it.
I'm still dealing with that. You love your kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love my baby, but I think we live in an atmosphere where people try to make people believe that if you don't agree with every decision that your child makes, that you don't love them. But see, as the mother, I'm not supposed to think like the rest of the world, right? Because that's my seed. Right. That's my bloodline, right? Like, that's my creation. And I think that when it comes to the transition issue, like, I don't know how much it's been studied. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are the results? What happens 20, 30 years from now? It's scary for me as a parent to endure something like that. And then not only that, like, okay, so for instance, I had my baby. I raised my baby for 18 years as a boy, right? And then and when you turn 19, you decide to say that you're a girl. That's almost like a death, right? That's almost like losing a child. Like, you forcing me and you telling me that other person doesn't exist and I have to accept this person. I'm real. What if I don't like the new person? You know, it's like, what if you a ratchet motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying,
when this happened, what was going through your head? Like, how do you process that? Because I seen
what
that.
I did was, as a parent, first of all, I used my wisdom from having to experience raising a gay child. Because for me, at first, it was like, okay, I knew he was going to be gay. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw the signs. And I was already willing to accept that, right? You being a gay male. But when you come tell me and look me in my face and tell me you're a woman, that's some different shit, right? Because you can be gay and be a man. But when you say that you a woman and you born in the wrong body, that's something else. So what I did was I sent myself back to school. I went and got my bachelor's in psychology. I wanted to learn about the mind. I wanted to learn about gender dysphoria. I wanted to learn about body development and all of those things. And at the end of the day, I think my job as a parent, my job was to carry my baby, raise him, give him life so that he could have a choice, right? And live however he wants to live. And one of the things that I thank God for, you know, is that at least my son can actually pass for a woman. Because a lot of these niggas don't look good. They look like silverback gorillas. They size 17 shoe, they backs hairy and wide and shit. At least my baby looks good. So you have to find the good, and he's successful, and guess what? He has a choice. I didn't abort him, right?
You didn't abort him. And
so for all of the women, all the people
good.
that want to say, I don't accept my kid, where's yours?
I love it. I love it. Now let me change gears again. Why you didn't ask Donald Trump for our reparations, Queen?
Why y'all ain't asked Joe Biden and Kamala for reparations?
Oh my God.
I mean, Joe Biden and Kamala was in office for 4 years. They ran on the whole, like, Donald Trump ain't never promised reparations. But Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, that's what I be saying about the politics shit, right? Like, I'm for reparations, whoever want to pass them. I don't think we ever gonna get them, right? They feel like our reparations is abortion. That's why Kamala ran a whole campaign and did a HBCU tour on reproductive rights, because they feel like our reparations is abortion. Like, that's why we can't get reparations, because we keep asking them for a right to kill the kids that we can't take care of. So what I'm gonna give you money for? You gonna go abort it anyway. You don't need no money.
How do you think she would have turned out as a president if she would have got into the office instead of Trump?
Man, I think we would have lost a whole generation.
Child.
Man, we would have lost it. It wouldn't have been no turning back, man. You know, if any time, listen, and I listen to Meg Thee Stallion and I listen to Cardi, I'm guilty, okay? But anytime you are running a presidential campaign on abortion, how can we in one voice say, okay, we tired of racism, but vote to abort our own bloodline, our own children, our own race? This is all they offered us, and I think that's why a lot of us woke up, because we deserve more than abortion. Like, during the DNC, they took a whole Hot Wheels abortion bus to Chicago and was performing live abortions on site, but I ain't seen not one abortion clinic at the border.
Performing?
They had a bus out there. It was women going in and coming out. They was
for
giving
abortions?
They had an abortion Hot Wheels bus. They was doing live abortions during the DNC. And what I'm saying is, like, you can't go on an HBCU tour and telling young black women they need to feel freedom and liberation in aborting their children, and then you opening the border for all of these other people to come here to get everything that they need. Like, offer us the same resources you offering the people at the border. Take the abortion clinics out the black community and put them at the border. It'll help with the border control crisis. But when I say that, people look and be like, oh, you're a racist. Oh, you want to abort the Mexico. Well, y'all don't feel that way about abortion clinics in our community.
Well said. What's your thoughts on ICE and the border patrol going on?
I'm going to be honest. The way I look at the government, right? I look at the government like this. The government is the parent of America, okay? I'm a parent. So when I go to work or I get my money or whatever, my check, my money, I have to take care of my house, my kids, and I got to pay my bills. I got to make sure my kids eat. I have to make sure that my house is taken care of. Now, that don't mean I won't help the people across the street or around the corner, but I have a responsibility to take care of my house first. When it comes to the American government, they have a responsibility to take care of the American women first. You're not going to tell me that black women are dying from giving birth to their children because of low quality health care. You're not going to tell me that when I go downtown, I got to step over 100 homeless people who happen to be black, okay, just to get into the courthouse or get into the church. You don't have any resources for these people, right, but you want to keep the border open and keep allowing it. Take care of home first, right? And then there is a proper way to do it, right? So say, for instance, tonight, all of these people came here to your show, right? People may have bought tickets, stood in line. What if a whole people just came and bum rushed, didn't buy tickets or nothing, and just ran in front of all of these people that's been waiting patiently, that RSVP to get here and did it the right way? Right. It's the right way to do it.
Right. But my thing is, you would think as we're all adults that we would know that. I mean, that sounds like simple math, to take care of the veterans, the people that we have in the streets. Even at Georgia State, a lot of y'all you cannot walk through any building on Georgia State without getting stopped by a homeless person. There are so many homeless people on campus, and they right outside every single classroom. It's bad.
Can you imagine if when a black mother got pregnant, they offered her, a down payment on her first home instead of an abortion? Is that too much to ask? I'm asking y'all.
That'd be too much.
Is that too much to ask? That's what I advocate for, right? And if they want to fight for abortion, that's on them. But what Auntie Angie is advocating for, I'm advocating for us to be in a position to have our children, raise our children, protect our children, give our children the life that they deserve. Because once you got a whole generation of women that's going to choose abortion first, we lost.
Well said, Angela. Where can everybody follow you at? Where can we donate for Auntie Angie's house? Where can we help you support your movement and keep fighting the good fight? And I just want to, before we end, I want to give you your flowers. I know you're literally fighting a very, very hard battle, because it's really hard when you know the sky is blue and they're trying to tell you it's green, but you know it's blue, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, it's really like, that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to, people like to get in their feelings, but you are really fighting a good fight.
I just decided to step out of the argument side of it, like I did pro-life and pro-choice for a long time, and then Roe v. Wade passed. I was like, I need to be on the solution side. Like, I'm not here to control anybody's choice, But if a woman decides that she wants to keep the baby, why can't we have resources available for her and that child? And that's where I'm at. If you want to keep the baby, we are here to help you. You are not alone. And man, I got 94 something babies. I got 2 more on the way right now. Oh God, it's just such an amazing feeling when you can see the fruits from your labor. Like, you be like, in church, they be like, oh, we saving souls, but you see these babies and you see these faces and you realize you saved a whole person. And a lot of them look like us. And we can look at our families and see, we ain't got the big families that we used to have. Like, my grandmama had 10 kids. My mother's mother, my father's mother had 9. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have those big families no more, and that's because of the abortion clinics in our community. So I'm not anybody's enemy. I just want to give y'all another perspective, and I want y'all to spread the word about Auntie Angie's house. We doing the work in the community, and we willing to franchise. You got a house, a rental property somewhere you ain't using no more, guess what? We can turn that into a house to help pregnant women and save lives and do our part. So if you're looking for me, you guys can follow me. I'm on IG, The Angie Stanton. I'm on X, The Auntie Angie, and you can follow my philanthropy work at AuntieAngie'sHouse.org.
The Queen, Angela Stanton-King at the Lava Creature Show, a very exclusive person. Y'all make some noise and follow her. Follow me everywhere at Carisha The Diva on all platforms. As always, stay fabulous, stay blessed, keep your babies, peace.
Keep them babies.
Ooh, I like that one.